everybody. Hey, that's Sergeant Eyeball. No, wait. Hey, that's Hawkeye Pierce. Hold on, that's Professor Jennings. Dude, look over there. That's President Snow. That's Matthew Pinnell. Ooh, hey, that's the shadowy CIA dude from JFK. It's actually Kiefer Sutherland's dad, the late, great Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland passed away. Instead of doing a movie tribute this week, obviously it's Vikings Report with Drew and Ted and Chris. We thought we'd pay tribute to one of the greatest actors that we have ever witnessed on screen, big or small, the late, great Donald Sutherland.
I have an idea. You really do love him, don't you?
Gentlemen, how you doing? We just thought we'd rattle off some of his most iconic roles, and we're going to kind of pay tribute to him throughout the show tonight.
It's a tremendous idea.
Absolutely. Great idea.
200 films, over 200 films. If you want to see a great acting, it wasn't mentioned in the opening faces, but my favorite acting by Donald Sutherland was in Ordinary People, when he played the dad trying to keep the family together after a tragedy. You want to see some top-notch acting? Watch Donald Sutherland in that movie. That and Body Snatchers in the 70s. The sentiments from people pouring in are just like actors that have worked with him and said he was a very serious actor, but he's a very intelligent guy and he's just fun to talk to and one of the best actors ever, isn't he?
He absolutely is.
There's not a lot of people in Hollywood that could do the range of roles he did. I mean, he did comedy very well. I mean, you could argue his most iconic role was in Ordinary People, but then again, I think his most iconic role was Hawkeye Pierce in MASH, a comedy role, or Professor Jennings in Animal House. And then later in his career, he does stuff like The Hunger Games.
He could play the super serious roles like the Ordinary People role, and then you get into Hawkeye Pierce and Professor Jennings and whatever. That whole scene in Animal House where they go over to his place and he's talking with the kid and he's like explaining the universe to him, and the kid is just like, "Can I buy some pot from you?"
Could I buy some pot from you?
They keep a straight face during that, for starters, and he's talking about Paradise Lost, and all the kids are leaving the classroom after the bells rung, or whatever. He's like, "Look, I'm not joking. This is my job." And I don't know how many real contemporaries he would have had. He kind of reminds me of like an Alan Rickman kind of range type guy, because you had Alan Rickman playing the villain from Die Hard, and then he'd play the comedic roles, and he was in all the Harry Potter movies. And usually guys are either comedic actors or like the super serious actors, and he was the kind of guy that was pretty comfortable doing both, and that's kind of a rarity.
He's also an actor where you start thinking of movies going, oh yeah, he was in that. He might not have been the lead guy, but he was in a ton of movies when you really start thinking. He was in that Outbreak movie. He was in Backdraft. I think it was Sean Penn. I don't know. Sean Penn, I heard him today talking about Donald Sutherland. He said there's a couple producers where every scene is minimum 30 shots, except for Donald Sutherland. First time, every time. He's the only actor, he said, he's ever seen that got nailed it the first time because he's so dedicated on what he's doing. Just a great guy. I'm glad we had a chance to give a shout out for him tonight.
With the intro, we could have gone on probably for 10 or 15 minutes with roles he's been in. And
right.
Credit to you, Drew, for mentioning his role in Ordinary People. You look back at all the generations, from the greatest generation to Gen Z now. I bet every single film aficionado from that generation has a Donald Sutherland iconic role. And that says something about the man himself. You guys want to know how stupid I am. And look, there's 136 previous episodes before this show to go back. Well, we already know.
I know you. You know you. And I know you know that I know you.
But the day he died, I saw a tribute online from his son, Kiefer Sutherland. And I said, I looked at my wife and I said, I didn't know Kiefer Sutherland was Donald Sutherland's
Come on,
son.
Ted.
I'm serious.
No, no way, dude.
Come on.
I
What?
honestly, hand to God, did not know that. And she said, "What is wrong with you? How did you not know that?" I said, I didn't know.
I gotta
I
throw the
didn't know.
challenge flag.
I'm telling you, I honestly didn't know.
Ted's wife looked at him and said, "Can I buy some pot from you?" No, just kidding. But I've got the Donald Sutherland IMDb list sitting here in front of me. I mean, he was in stuff like Backdraft. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
See? He's been
Was
in
he really?
everything.
Not the
TV
TV
show?
series, the movie. No,
The
no,
movie,
the
okay.
movie that inspired the TV show. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, just all sorts of stuff. The list is just ridiculous. How'd that guy never win an Oscar? I don't understand. That seems
I don't know.
ludicrous to me.
That's
Crime.
insane to think of that. His whole family, all his kids are in movies too.
Well, Kiefer Sutherland apparently.
Chris,
Who's
how
the
did you not know that?
I'm telling
don't.
you, I didn't
I don't
know. I didn't
You
know.
had the name
I
never
didn't.
connected over the years.
It did.
Young
It just
Guns.
didn't.
That
It
those
just
Drac,
didn't.
the vampire one he was in, Kiefer.
I will say that Donald Sutherland was not the father of Doug Sutherland.
The Great
from
Viking.
no relation. I don't think.
Latter-day Purple People Eater, Doug Sutherland.
Absolutely. We connected this to the Vikings somehow. I knew we'd get there eventually.
There we go.
But yeah.